Yes. How nuts is that? That's great.
Yeah, we are touching people.
That's cool, man. Heck yeah.
Yeah, man.
Funny. You sounding all right?
Dude, I'm good.
Sweet. Right on. I just figured, you know what?
Let's just do it.
We're not even going to get an introduction on this thing. We're just going to just go.
Man, let's just go. Hey, guys, welcome in, man. Welcome in. Back for episode 17.
Yes, sir.
You're going to hear a little bit, the voices are going to sound different today.
Yeah.
Mikey is, promise there was no hugging and we're not sharing this germ back and forth.
Just happened to be a little hoarse today, the last couple of days, man. I've been the same way.
Man, I went to, if there's anybody out here listening that goes to the Way Church in the Hallmark campus in San Bernardino, hey, shout them out. We this weekend we had the Men's Accelerate Conference. And myself and maybe somebody of the viewers will recognize Noah, one of our technicians. We went this weekend to a men's conference, and man, I was worshiping so loud I lost my voice.
That's pretty cool, dude. I like that. How's that all going for you?
Dude, it's been crazy, man. The Lord is good, and I'm excited about where that's kind of taken.
Cool.
Me, man.
Yeah, I like it, man. That's cool. We got some cool stuff coming up, dude. We have 4th of July is coming up, so we are a sponsor of the city of Yucaipa, you know that, and they called us recently and said, hey, you guys are our biggest supporter, so we're going to have you as a presenting sponsor. So that 4th of July event, it's like everything is presented by Redlands Plumbing. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, I got to meet a really cool guy from Yucaipa this last weekend, Ryan. Shout out Ryan if you're listening. Ryan is, I don't know exactly what all he does. He does permits and things like that. So shout out to Ryan, man.
Yeah, at the job fair, right?
Yeah.
We've been
met some good people from Yucaipa, man.
Yeah,
I'm a Yucaipian myself. I'm gonna say he is too. I think his zip code's actually Redlands, but everybody would say where you live is Yucaipa.
Yeah, it's true. Yep, definitely. Yeah, we're going to be given. They've given us 10 free tickets to the event too. So we got a kind of a cool promo. I'm starting tomorrow. Goes out. We're going to give away. We're going to pick 5 people. So for this month, anybody that signs up for the VIP preventative maintenance package gets randomly, we're going to choose 5 people from that pool, and you guys are going to get free tickets to the event on 4th of July.
Beautiful.
So that'll be kind of cool.
Beautiful.
And as always, the cool zone will be set up with our giant fans, and everybody can kind of kick back and get some relief from that. So we got some exciting stuff coming when it comes to events.
Beautiful. Yeah. We got our company picnic coming up. Thanks to Tyler and HR, we're doing a
shout out to Marissa on that thing, setting that all up.
Doing a family picnic at the 66ers Stadium. We've done this actually a couple of years, and it's a good time. I mean, head out there. I mean, dude, there's just it's so funny how the way smells can take you to something. Right? There's something about the smell of a stadium. Right?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not even an alcohol drinker, but the smell of nachos, jalapenos. The hot dogs, the beer. I mean, it's just, man, as soon as you walk in, you're like, you know, me and my wife, when we were dating, we would go almost like once every couple of weeks, we'd go to Angel Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Just to watch a game.
Yeah, you forget how fun those things are. Yeah. We don't go to enough of them, and they're a good time.
We never watched the game.
Yeah, I know.
We were cruising around the stadium, hanging out, you know, doing
it's the experience. For more than the game, it's not even about the game for me either. We go just to go have a good time, and like you said, beer, popcorn, you know, hot dogs, whatever.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the peanuts in the shell. I eat them, and it's funny because when I eat them, I eat the whole shell.
Do you?
I know, it's crazy. What? I know. You know, here's the quick backstory, life story. It's kind of funny. Probably 1979. My mom, my dad, me, and my brother. My brother's 2 years older than me, 18 months older than I am. So we go to a rodeo in Tucson, Arizona. We lived in Tucson at the time, so rodeos were a big thing there at that time. So we go to the rodeo, and my mom and my dad are sitting in front of us, and our seats were kind of divided. Like, me and my brother were right directly behind my mom and dad. And my mom wanted to be in front of us because we were little boys, you know, like I was like 4 or 5, my brother was like 6. And my mom didn't want us to fall forward because we were kind of high up in the seats, right? So if you're wondering why was my mom not sitting right, well, she wanted to protect us, so she was trying to sit right in front of us. So the guy was, you know, they come around, vendors come around, they're selling stuff at those things, and one of the things that me and my brother had never tried was peanuts, so we wanted peanuts because peanut popcorn, right? We already had some popcorn, so we were wanting to try some peanuts. And so my mom got them for us, and she gave us the bag, and my brother opened the bag, and well, my mom, like I said, was in front of us. They were watching the rodeo. We had never eaten peanuts before. We didn't know that you were supposed to crack open the peanut and eat the peanut aside from the shell. So me and my brother start to eat the bag, and we're relatively quickly, we blow through that whole bag, right? I mean, it's two boys and little, bag of peanuts. And so my mom turns around and she's like, honey, I gave her the bag. And she looks at me and my brother and she goes, where did you guys put your shells? We both just looked at her. And my mom was like, the shells, like when you open them. Me and my brother just, again, looked at her, and there was no shells, obviously.
That's funny,
so
dude.
that's how I ate them the first time I ever ate them. And I will tell you, it's the way I still love to eat them, which is weird. But
how do you get those down? I mean, dude,
I got chompers the size of Texas.
I guess so, man.
Hey, let me tell you, that is like the best cleansing you'll ever have.
I bet it is. That's got to feel great coming out, huh?
Your colon is cleansed.
Good Lord. Well, shout out to my daughter, dude. This weekend we had a dance comp, or yesterday. So my wife and her were there all day. I was there for about half the day, but took first place, first overall for the whole thing.
Wow.
Pretty cool, man.
Your daughter individually or her team?
Individually, and then her team, and they had this comp has like this. If it's a really good performance, as soon as it's over, it's like everything, horns go boom, 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 and it's like this thing. If you get this like what do they call it? It's ultra performance or something. So she got that.
Wow.
She was wanting that, so she made it happen. But her team got that, so I thought that was cool.
Mike, I love how, guys, you can't see my thing here, but I'm going to show you. Mike put on here small talk. Like you and I are ever going to be in a room, and there's going to be a need.
That's my organization way.
There's going to be a need to say small talk. Are you kidding me? Like, here's the funny part. Mike and I just went to lunch, and now we're doing this, and we still can't shut our big mouths, right? Well, we both love to talk.
That's right. That's for sure.
So, well, thank you guys for listening in. We appreciate you guys. It was kind of just confirmation right before we came in here. I had an applicant come in, and I said, I apologize, man. I have an appointment right now to make a podcast. And he said, oh, man, I've been listening to that. It's a really great idea. And I still find it surprising that we get one listen.
It's fun to see something like that. Somebody, listens to this thing and you see it's getting out there a little bit. It's kind of cool.
It's just silly.
I think we obviously aren't as regular as we were. We're kind of cut it down a little bit to, I think, once a month or so is about when we're going to do this thing. So, but it's good stuff. I kind of was, this one got brought up to me because I was sitting through Monday meeting last week, and, we were talking about standards and goals and things like that. And I thought that was kind of an interesting topic to dive into, to really talk about like why that stuff is so important. So, I kind of want to break some of that down and talk about what your process is for that, and what we do and why we have standards in this company for our techs and for our customers and things.
Super important, man. Listen, I've led teams from here to Seattle, Washington, to Denver, Colorado, to Dallas, Texas. I've led teams all over the country. And one of the things that you'll find is that what gets inspected gets improved. And I want to set this stage by saying I fail at this a lot of times. I mean, I want to be the very first to admit that. It's easy to get comfortable. It's easy to get complacent. It's easy to let the distractions of the business world get in front of you, right? I mean, if I sat here and acted like my standards are always met, I would be lying to you, Mike. And one of the commitments I make to anybody that I work with or anybody in my family is that I'm never going to lie to you. I'm always going to tell you the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. And, we'll get into the standards and what it means, but I just want to start that off by saying, anybody listening, do we ever fail? The answer is, of course we do.
All the time.
We're human, right? And we're gonna fail, and that's okay. We were actually just talking about that this morning. You were in the class this morning too. Failure is your next step to success, right? Like when we're trying something new, no matter whether it's a process that we're doing, a new piece of equipment that we're installing, new technology, insert that here. There's going to be failure, right? I mean, you're learning something, you're struggling through something. You know, I mean, think back to your school load, right? Like, you get involved in a new math lesson, right? And it's like, it just seems overwhelming. I was like, there is no way I'm ever going to get this. I mean, I was horrible at math still.
Join the club.
There's no way. Yeah, there's no way I'm ever going to get this, right? This is absolutely above my comprehension level. I can't get this. Why is there letters in math? Right? I mean, you know, I mean, you can just insert that. You know, but the reality of it is, Mike, is that like within a very short period of time, if you're consistent, if you put the effort in, if you study, if you apply yourself, that math that was once overwhelming now seems simple.
Yeah.
And then you progress up to the next level, and then the same thing kind of happens. Oh my goodness, this is crazy, right? But soon enough. Yeah, and it's just it's just that progression. So
I always go through that with my kid. You know, I have my 17-year-old just graduated, and one of the things that, especially the last 2 years probably, is teaching your kids how to deal with failure and to teach them that it's okay to fail, because I've done it 100 times. You know, I've failed at things, and that's how I ended up learning to become great at it, or you know, at least succeed in it. And I think people don't realize that you have to have that failure in order to progress.
And that's what I was just fixing to say. Not only is it okay to fail, fail is a necessary step in becoming bigger, better, and faster and stronger.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if I stay right where I'm at today, I mean, I'm going to start living out the definition of insanity, right? I'm doing the same thing over and over, and I'm expecting a different result. And that literally is the definition of insanity. And we don't ever want our techs to do that, right? Well, like, no matter whether it's Wes, which is one of our managers who's been doing this for 41 years, or it's myself who has been leading teams for, you know, over 30 years now, at the end of the day, we want continual growth, right? One of the things that we always say is something that I heard a pastor say a long time ago. And I really liked it because it's how I like to look at my life, right? Is that I'm in process. And until the day I take my last breath, which who knows, after my heart attacks last year, that could be any day. But who knows, like, until that day that last breath is drawn, I think that hopefully will be my motto, that I'm in process, right? Like, who you saw yesterday, yeah, that's who I was yesterday. But my goal today is to be a little bit different and better from yesterday. So when we start talking about standards, one of the standards that we have here at our company is that we're going to be a company of growth, right? It's part of our GREAT, it's the G in GREAT. Like, the standard is that we're going to grow, right? That you're not going to be complacent in whatever position you sit in this company, whether it's you as the marketing guy, whether it's me as the service manager, whether it's Tyler, the owner, like, right? Like, it doesn't matter where we sit on this totem pole. At the end of the day, the reason it's part of our GREAT strategy, and the reason it's one of our standards, is that we got to change. We got to change with the times. We got to change with what's going on in the environment around us. And so we do that. You know, you put on here defining our standards. It's more than just clean work. This is about pride, professionalism, putting the customer first. You know, one of the things that we talk about, even when we were designing GREAT, one of the things that we were talking about was that we have to remain and maintain being a customer-centric company. The moment we lose sight on that, right? The moment we change and it becomes about us, or it becomes about our wallet, or it becomes about the company's wallet, or it becomes about, we're so Carrier that maybe Carrier went down and now that I don't think will ever happen. But I'm just saying, my point is that it can't become anything but customer centric.
Sure.
Because that's kind of the starting point of everything else. So, you know, when we're talking about professionalism, it's not just professionalism that benefits the company or benefits that technician. It's professionalism that allows that customer to have the experience that they deserve to experience.
I think the standards are kind of the baseline. Which is weird because I think a lot of companies forget you got to have those standards. If you don't have that, that's the baseline of where things got to go, and then you can build on that. But I think if you don't have those standards, you've lost touch with being able to make sure your guys are holding themselves accountable, right? Or taking care of the customer like we expect them to. Or
look, most companies out there, let's just put it real. Most companies out there, they give the guy his truck. And they say, make it or break it. Right? And that poor kid or gentleman, whatever you want to say, or lady, they're out there just winging it and a prayer and hoping that they do something. And that's not our mission. That's not our goal. We always want to make sure that we set a very practical way that the guys can kind of evaluate where they are. Right? I mean, who doesn't want to know whether they win or lost?
Sure.
Right? Like, wouldn't that stink to go through a whole day and not have nothing to measure yourself
Yeah.
to?
Yeah, you need
like,
that framework.
How do I, like, I mean, it would be very difficult to be on a weight loss journey or even a weight gain journey. We got a couple of guys in our shop that they're trying to gain weight. I tell them all the time, I am a pro at that. If you need help, I will help you. But like, wouldn't it be very bad if you didn't have the scale? How would you ever know? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, you could look, you could guess, you could pray, you could hope, but you're not being able to measure it. And we don't ever want to leave our guys wondering or questioning. So,
Yeah.
you know, our standards are set. You know, it sets the tone for who we are and what we expect. You know, one of the lasting legacies that I want to leave with these guys is that they actually put goals in front of themselves and that they're always working towards that and
something to strive for. Yeah,
trying to
absolutely.
obtain that. And it's not just goals for work, it's goals for personal life, it's goals for professional life, it's goals for family life, it's goals for your faith walk, your faith journey. So it's goals all the way around, because goals are what are our GPS, right? Like when you're anywhere in life, you know, like if you use a GPS, you need two coordinates. You need the coordinate to where you're at, and then you need the coordinate to where you want to get to. Only then can you actually put together a proper mapping system.
Sure.
If you have either one of those, well, you know where you want to go, but you don't know where you're at, or you know where you're at, but you don't know where you want to go. What is that GPS going to track? Nothing. There's nothing.
Yeah,
There's nothing to tie it down, right? So we got to have that. You know, we do this to build. You know, I know on here, Mike, you put it's how we build trust, and I want to say something about that, guys. We never expect, and I want to be very clear about this, because this is something that it's for me personally, and it's definitely the way I believe in business. I never want our customers to have to trust us. I think that word trust is so overused and used in the wrong manner with the service industry and just industries as a whole. Like, trust is a word, like, if I'm thinking trust, Mike, I'll tell you like this. Trust is, hey man, here's the keys to my house. I'm going to be gone for a month. Hey, make sure it's okay.
Sure.
That's like, I'm not going to do that with somebody I just met an hour ago, right? Trust is, hey Mike, me and my wife need to do this. Can you watch the kids, please? Like, that's trust. Like,
what do you put in place of that? I mean, what would you call it?
The different word for trust for me is relationship. Like, we want to build a relationship, right? Like, relationship is the way I look at everything, right? Like, in the lieu of trust, what can I do? Like, how do I get to engage with this person and understand where they're at, where they're coming from? And we understand that, like, look, you just invited me into your most inner sanctum, your home, right? Like, and there's a leap of faith just in that, right? Like, I hope this guy's not here to kill me, right? I mean, you know, I mean, that's a little overstated, but you know what I mean?
I get what you mean.
So what can we do in the lieu of having trust? Because you don't know me and I don't know you. So, well, we can work at building a relationship. And that can start in that moment, right? Whether it's the relationship that we start to develop over the phone, right? When you call into dispatch and, you know, you let us know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's the relationship we have that we start by trying to let you know, hey, we're on our way. Here's who the technician's going to be. Here's the time frame that he's going to get there. And then a technician that shows up that's just there for the right reason, right? Like, he's there because you have an urgent need or a need that needs to be filled. And he's there to do that in a professional. He's there to educate you. He's there to hopefully give you options.
Yeah.
He's there to kind of listen and let you be heard. It's your home. This is your castle. We're not there to tell you have to do anything. We're there to, investigate. You know, one of the things you'll hear me say over and over is every house will tell us its story. Our job is to become the illustrator and narrator of that story. So the relationship that we begin is based on, hey, here's what your home's telling me. Let's look into some options that we can do. Make sure they understand it, and then from there we'll build them out some things that we can do. So it's you know, the standard slip. You put win standard slip. Look, there's gonna become days that we fall short. I mean, we're dealing with human being on both sides, right? Human beings that are customers that some days are having just a really bad day. It's a really bad time. We're dealing with technicians who could be in the same thing, right? We're dealing with managers that could be living out the same thing. So are some of these standards going to slip? But when we're talking about standards, Mike, I think the standards here really are standards of behavior.
Yeah.
Right. And not so
Kind of
much
shapes
like,
how the
hey,
thing's going to go.
yeah, it's not so much of, we need you to make X amount of dollars and you need to, that's not the standards. I mean, those just happen based on behavioral standards that we want. We want clean professional technicians. Okay, that's a standard. Right? We want technicians who are going to educate our customers. We're going to teach them how to do that. Right? We want customers to have video or pictures or see it with their own two. We want them to have like we don't want them to trust us. That's the last thing we ever want them to do. We want them to trust their own eyes and ears. You saw it, you heard it, you feel it, you touched it, right? Like, I know that I can't build trust with you, so I'm going to create a relationship of, hey, together. Yeah. Together. It's not a me versus you. You know, one of the things I tell my guys is the house of story is already the house of story when you showed up. Sure. Our job is just to become the advocate for that customer and work towards a good end result. Like, I get it. Like, a lot of customers feel that when we walk into their home, we're the adversary, right? Like, oh my goodness, how much is it going to be?
This is going to cost me X amount of dollars. Yeah, of course.
And listen, that's unfortunately, I'll say it this way. Unfortunately, that's an earned characteristic of service industry. Sure. We deserve that. No, I'm not saying Redlands Plumbing, but as an industry as a whole, we've earned that reputation. And I'm sorry to the customers, even though it's not us, I'm sorry that our industry has done that. But knowing that, and that we're kind of starting in that hole, when I developed this process, the book that I wrote and the process that we have, it was based off of that knowledge. Like, we are in a bad place. You know, and a lot of customers, there's companies out there that have similar processes, not the same. This has been really honed in over 15 years now. And really what it comes down to is I've learned that why don't customers? Well, the problem is most companies out there want to talk about trust. And that's why I hate
trust me. Trust it. Yeah. It's like used car salesman type of feel to it, right?
I am not going to trust you. I don't know you. I don't know. Why would I trust you? I don't know you. When I first got into the industry, one of the very first things I noticed was that technicians were really weird. Like, they hated when the customer wanted to stay engaged. They hated when, like, they were working on the faucet and the customer was right behind them.
Yeah, they're working, like they're being watched or micromanaged. Right?
Or they're working on a water heater and the customer stays in the garage with them. And I'm like, why? So I dug into that. Like, I wanted to peel back that onion, right? Get to the root. Why? I mean, this is their home. You're about to ask them to make a buying decision. Why are you worried that they're asking you questions? And I found out that a lot of them, A, nobody had ever really taught them how to communicate. B, they were just making assumptions with the client, like that what the client was thinking. Why was the client wanting to watch them? They thought that, they think I'm shady or something. A lot of times the client's just interested in what's going on. Like, this is my home. Like, I want to see what's going on, right? So I had to peel that onion back, and then now I had to build something into that. And so what I built into that was, hey, we're gonna create an environment of, this ain't my home. I don't want the technician to ever feel like it's me that has to do the evaluation.
Yeah, sure.
The situation's already there. Our job is to become the narrator and illustrator of that story. Now, I want that customer there and leaned into the story. I don't want to be trying to third party this story. I want them to see it for themselves, because at the end of the day, they're going to have a choice in two things. They're going to have a choice on whether they fix it or not. And there's probably going to be a couple of options in that. And there's also a choice of whether they use me or not. So if both of those things are still choices yet to be made, why would I not want to invite them into that call and allow them to make a really good, educated buying decision about who, what, where, why, and when, right? And it's my job, and my job only as the technician, to get them there. Like, if I tell this to customers all the time, because one of the number one things you hear from customers, and guys, please never feel this way. I promise you, if it's one of my guys out there, don't feel this way. They'll say to me, when I invite them into the call, they'll say, man, I just don't want to be in your way. Or, man, I know you got it. Don't feel that way. Like, you're not in the way. This is your home.
Yeah.
This is your castle, not mine.
You want them to be in it.
I'm going to go to my castle and look at that day. And if something was going on with Mike, I'll give you a perfect example. Today's a perfect example. My pool has been acting up. Mm-hmm. I've been a little frustrated because my pool guy has been going there and I'm not getting much like rapport back from him. He's a newer pool guy for me. And I'm not getting like a report, like what's going on? Like, what can I do? Is there something I'm doing? Hey, we just replaced the pump. We just replaced the filter. So, hey, what's going on? And why is this one, like, I've been telling them now 3 weeks in a row that this area used to be where all the water sucks in. The water's still coming through because it's filtering, but it's not coming from there anymore. So what's going on? How can we change that back? Because that's where my vacuum hooks up. And so I need that to be functioning.
Sure.
So why, again, he's a pool guy, no offense, I love him. He seems like a very nice gentleman. But again, I don't think he really likes to talk to his customers. I think he wants to just get it. He's a technical guy. He wants to get in, do his job. He loves doing his work.
He's not looking for your input to tell him, sure. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, here's what's going to happen. He's going to figure out what the problem is. Then he's going to come at me with a price.
Yeah.
And now I got to make some guesses.
Yeah, true.
And I never want my clients to guess.
Yeah.
Like, man, is Marshall telling me the truth? Like, I don't really know this guy. I don't have a relationship with this guy. I don't trust this guy. Well, I don't ever want you to trust me.
Yeah.
I want you to see it and own it with your own eyes. That way, when that time comes to make that decision, you feel absolutely 100% satisfied with the decision you make. Whether you make the decision to use me and to choose the option that I'm presenting, or to not use me and not choose the option I'm presenting. At least you know now the why and the why not of what you decided. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. You know, there's some tools that I think help keep those standards for our team, right? Mm-hmm. You know, some of those things that we have are like are being the ability to record the calls and truck minimums, cool. You know, there's a lot to it, but one thing I want to touch on is just recording customer interactions. How was the kickback on that? How did it go when we put that in place recently with our team?
Look, I think there's good and bad about everything, right? I mean, you can almost pick anything and say, here's the good, here's the bad. The good is from a training tool perspective, it's probably the best thing I've ever seen. Right?
Are they able to utilize that thing pretty well? The guys seem to take to it.
Yeah, I think the problem is you got to take ego out of it.
Yeah, sure.
And what man doesn't struggle with that a little bit?
Yeah,
you know, myself included, right?
Well, with that kind of thing, you can probably go one of two ways. I'm being listened to. This is I feel like Big Brother's on me. Versus the other side of, hey, I can use this constructively to help me build and get better. And
that's why it comes down to that person individually, right? We've had some guys that absolutely love it, can't wait to talk about it, can't wait to hear it, can't wait to see it, can't wait to get better with it. Yeah. Then we have other guys who, unfortunately, it's just a little bit of an ego thing. And like, well, I don't want you tearing me apart. I don't want other guys listening to me. And yeah, I mean, look, man, it's just an ego thing, right? Like, it's definitely difficult to have your peers watching you and listening to you, and that can be a little bit overwhelming, and I get that.
Yeah.
And so we try to do it as in a way that benefits them. And what's the WIFM statement for our client? What's in it for them? Like, why is that important? Well, it's important because we're able to verify that our technicians are giving them the service that we deserve, right? Like Tyler, as the owner of the company, wants to ensure that he's serving the members of Redlands and Yucaipa and Loma Linda and Colton. There are things that we want to make sure our customers are getting, right? We know that this isn't fun for anybody. Nobody woke up today and said, man, I just can't wait to call Redlands Plumbing. That doesn't happen. So how do we ensure that we're getting what we want to get out there? And this is a great tool. You know, we definitely talk to the technicians a lot. I mean, we're just open. Like, my door is always open. And is everything that our techs wanting gonna happen? The answer is no. I'm just gonna be real. Sometimes when they have things that are concerning them, they've only been a technician in the business world. They've never been in management or ownership or leadership, and so it's hard for them, right? They don't understand. Sometimes they can't. One or two things. They don't know all the pieces. Right. Yeah. And or they can't see the other side of it. right? Because to every call, there's multiple sides to it, right? There's the customer sides, there's the technician side, there's the inside side, and then there's the ownership side, right? There's multiple sides of this. So there's, I mean, there's so many hands that touch a call.
Later in our discussion, I kind of had some area to find out to talk about, you know, AI and how that affects our industry and like where that's going, right? But that recording customer thing, I think what helps make it so useful is because there's AI built into this thing. So anybody, the companies that are out there, basically, what Marshall can do is he can go through, after a call is done, he can go back and review it, and you can call out keywords, right? Or different sections that you're expecting them to hit. You're able to look and just jump right to those areas with that ability, right?
Did my technician properly give my client options?
Yeah.
My client deserves options. If there's any possibility to provide that client with options, I want to make sure our guy did it. Right? And the only way I can do that is by hearing it, right?
Yeah.
If I ask, did you give, of course, yeah, sure.
Yeah, of course I did.
We don't want to leave it to a hope and a prayer, right? We want to make sure we do it right. So, yeah, and speaking of AI, I'm even trying to work with them right now where they can change the voices. So then my technician, and customer never have to worry about their voices being heard. Cool. Like, so I'm working on that right now as we speak.
Amazing what that thing could do to
it's nuts. I caught my daughter using it for school the other day, and I told her, no, like, you know, but
I know that's where I don't know how you get by that. That's something that we struggle with too. You know, kids are able to just write an entire paper in 2 seconds,
dude.
And no, there's not really a way to know. You know what that looks
I was horrible in school, man. My mom would have had to catch me because I would have been using it.
Yeah.
How we coach our team, man, that's a big one. And I mean, probably at the end of the day, we're probably getting close to wrapping this bad boy up. Coach, guys, that's I'll tell you what, man. How can I say this? I hate when I have to put on the manager's hat. Like, that's the worst part of my job.
Yeah.
Like, when I have to put on the manager's hat, that usually means something's gone wrong. Sure. Right? And I hate that part, right? I mean, is it my responsibility? Is it something I can do? Absolutely. Is it something I hate to do? Absolutely. Like, I would much rather coach to success. Right. And sometimes coaching to success means that you are talking about, you know, one of the things that we discuss constantly in our training classes is that the power is in the deficit, right? Like our job is to identify where we're messing up, because that's our area for opportunity, right? Like, we can talk everybody always wants to talk about where they're doing great. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
But what good does that do you?
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's no growth there.
How do you get these guys, you know, you got to get in for success. I think you got to get these guys to buy in. You got to get them to buy into what it is that you're talking about and the goals and the service that we expect from them. How do you get this team to buy into your coaching and to what you're doing? Just
like I have at every company I've ever been with. I don't just tell them, I show them. So I run calls with guys, right? And because, and I want to grow the process. I want to keep trying new stuff and making sure we're serving our clients, or new technology comes in. I want to make sure I can use it correctly. So it's not about just telling them, it's about showing them, right? Like I go out at least, I try to get out twice a week. It's difficult, you know.
Sure.
The bigger your team gets, the harder it is to manage that, you know, the group of people. But, you know, getting out there with them, running the call for them so they can see that, okay, what Marshall talks about in class is literally exactly how he runs that call. And then when you get feedback from a client in that call with us, like, that's saying things like, man, nobody's ever done all this, or man, you know, that I feel so like I know my system so much better than I did before I started. And that technician is kind of, there's an indictment there, right? Like, man, crap, like it does work, like, right? Sure. Like, Marshall really does want a relationship with our client. It's not about, I mean, look, somebody's going to fix that call. Like, whenever they called you, like, somebody's going to fix that.
Yeah.
If you didn't get that call, that means they chose not to go with you.
True. And
that's a hard thing to kind of take, right? It doesn't feel great.
Yeah, you always wonder why not us. Yeah.
But the reality is usually where the miss is a lack of communication, right? And you know, shame on us if we're a company that's not teaching them how to communicate.
Yeah.
Right, and that's not the case here. They are learning. We really work on that because two things. A, I don't want my customer to have to guess. Like, whether it's $1 or whether it's $1 million. Anytime you're going to make an ask from a customer, shouldn't they feel good about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I don't even care if it's 4 quarters, man. Like
something, yeah, absolutely.
Right, that money could go to something else, right?
Yeah.
Why should they not feel good about it? Why do they not understand how this is going to either A, fix the problem, B, band-aid that problem and put it away for another day, or C, get them back to whole and safe and protected for the future? Like, they need and deserve to know that. So what does that mean? That means our technicians have to be really good communicators. They have to, like, going back to what we've said a couple of times now, is they have to learn how to illustrate and narrate that story in a way that's going to allow that customer to understand. And, you know, sometimes the customer's not there. Sometimes it's tenant landlord situations, or, you know, son or daughter, they're in their early 20s going to college, and mom and dad who are going to be paying the bill off at work. We have to take steps, like we have to do things such as, you know, making videos, you know, whatever the case might be, we're going to make it happen. So it's just, when we talk about standards, Mike, I mean, really, if you had to kind of like break down what we want to be, it's that we want to become that in-home partner for our client.
Sure.
Like when a problem happens, there's zero doubt in our client's mind about who and when they're going to call. Like, hey, we're calling right now to Redlands because we know
you want to be part of the
it.
family, and that they don't even think of somebody else, right?
It's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Like, and is that always? Do we win at doing that every single time, guys? Again, man,
Sure.
Like we started, no.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's definitely the attempt in it, and from a management standpoint, that's what we're managing to.
Yeah.
And the standard that we're trying to set, that's the standard we're setting daily.
Yeah, I think so too. What I think I love about how you handle this, you know, and manage those guys is celebrating the wins too. You know, you got to make sure to kind of round out this whole thing. You have to recognize the hard work from these guys and kind of point that out. So,
guys, look, plumbing is not a pretty trade. HVAC's not a pretty trade. You're up on a roof or up in an attic. It's 130 degrees. You're tired. You know, sometimes during the middle of the summer, these HVAC technicians are running 5 calls a day.
Yeah.
They're on hour 14. They're exhausted. And here I am sitting in an air conditioned office asking them to make sure they're maintaining relationship and professionalism.
Yeah.
And it's a lot, man. And so would I ask for a little grace from time to time? Absolutely.
Sure.
We're going to fail. But I can tell you this, I can promise you that the heart of the company, from Tyler's directive down to my directive, is that we're going to try to be the best partner and a customer-centric company where the customer is always in the middle, and everything else is rotating around that.
Yeah, I think that's the way.
The customer is the sun in our universe, right? They are the center, and we're all rotating around that and trying to figure out how we can best serve them.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I think you do a good job of it, dude.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
All right, well, that's about it, man. Better ready to wrap it up, and we will see you guys on the next one. It's Inside the Red Truck. Remember, follow us on our social media, Instagram, Facebook, all those ones, and everything's at Redlands and Henry Bush. Search us out on YouTube for the podcast too, or Spotify, and we can go from there.
Hey, man.
Hey,
nice
brother.
doing it with you, brother.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, bye-bye.